HPE 6-A90 exam practice questions with explanations are available in the video for you to study. You need to enable a captive portal for a guest-specific wireless network. Which specific configuration area within the HPE Aruba Networking Central dashboard should be modified to achieve this? A. The global security settings within the access point's hardware profile. B. The captive portal settings located inside the specific WLAN profile. C. The guest role definition assigned to the entire site collection. D. The authentication server configuration under the site-level general settings. The answer is B. To successfully deploy a captive portal, the network administrator must navigate to the specific WLAN profile associated with the guest network. Within this profile, there are dedicated settings to enable and customize the captive portal authentication page. Configuring this at the WLAN level ensures that only traffic associated with that specific SSID is intercepted for authentication. Other settings like site-level or global hardware profiles do not offer the granular control needed for per SSID captive portal functionality. Therefore, modifying the WLAN profile is the standard and correct approach. When managing a campus network, you must ensure that all access switches maintain consistent port configurations, including duplex, speed, and PO settings. Which approach leverages the intent-based networking model of HPE Aruba Networking Central? A. Manually applying the required settings to every individual switch interface via the CLI. B. Creating a shared port profile and assigning it to the relevant switch interfaces. C. Defining global interface aliases that automatically propagate to all connected devices. D. Enabling automatic configuration inheritance at the device level for each switch. The answer is B. Intent-based networking in HPE Aruba Networking Central emphasizes the use of profiles to maintain consistency across a fleet of devices. By creating a reusable port profile, an administrator can define common parameters such as port speed, duplex settings, and power over Ethernet (PoE) configurations once. This profile can then be mapped to any number of interfaces across multiple switches. This method minimizes configuration drift and significantly reduces the manual overhead of managing individual ports. It ensures that the network remains uniform and easy to audit. A network administrator notices that clients on a corporate wireless network are experiencing intermittent connectivity drops. Which tool should be used to pinpoint potential authentication failures? A. The RF Health Overview dashboard to check for interference. B. The client event log specifically filtered for authentication-related entries. C. The topology map to visualize physical link status. D. The AI Insight summary regarding overall access point load. The answer is B. When troubleshooting authentication issues, the client event log is the most effective resource. It provides a chronological sequence of connection attempts, successes, and failures for specific wireless clients. By analyzing this log, an administrator can identify whether the failure is occurring due to certificate mismatches, timeout errors, or incorrect credentials. While other tools like the topology map or RF health dashboard are useful for physical or environmental issues, they lack the specific authentication handshake details found in the event logs. Therefore, the event log is the primary source of truth for investigating intermittent drops. An administrator wants to provide operational teams with a high-level view of current wired port status and link speeds on switches. Which view in HPE Aruba Networking Central provides this information immediately? A. The switch hardware card on the dashboard. B. The wired interfaces faceplate card. C. The health status widget within the global network summary. D. The physical port analytics report in the inventory module. The answer is B. The wired interfaces card, often referred to as the faceplate view, is specifically designed to offer a visual representation of a switch's ports. It allows administrators to see the status of each port, including its active link state and negotiated link speed, at a single glance. This is particularly useful for operations teams needing to quickly identify downed links or misconfigured ports. The other cards mentioned generally provide summary statistics or device-level health scores rather than the specific port-level visual information requested. You have been tasked with upgrading AP firmware across 40 different branch sites while ensuring service disruption remains at an absolute minimum. Which capability in HPE Aruba Networking Central is best suited for this requirement? A. The global push feature, which updates all devices simultaneously regardless of site. B. The live upgrade feature, which uses staged rollouts and platform intelligence. C. Manual firmware imaging performed by accessing each device individually via console. D. Scheduling a maintenance window in the inventory settings for automated reboots. The answer is B. Live upgrades in HPE Aruba Networking Central are optimized for environments where downtime must be minimized. This feature utilizes intelligent orchestration to stage the firmware rollout, ensuring that not all access points in a specific area go offline at the same time. By leveraging platform recommendations, the system can determine the safest way to sequence the upgrade across multiple sites. Manual updates or simultaneous global pushes would likely result in unnecessary outages, making the live upgrade the preferred method for managing large-scale firmware deployments. When deploying devices in HPE Aruba Networking Central, which two requirements are mandatory to ensure the device is correctly managed and tracked? A. Creating an SNMPv3 profile and a management VRF. B. Assigning the device to a designated site and a configuration group. C. Registering the device serial number in the global inventory and setting a static IP. D. Configuring the device-specific template and enabling remote console access. The answer is B. Proper provisioning within HPE Aruba Networking Central requires that every device is correctly associated with a site and a group. The site association is crucial for geographical reporting and site-specific policy application, while the group association determines the configuration inheritance and baseline settings applied to the device. Without these two assignments, the device cannot be effectively managed or placed into the appropriate administrative domain. Other configurations like SNMP profiles or static IPs are secondary and depend on the specific deployment requirements rather than being universal provisioning steps. A site is experiencing coverage hole detected alerts within the dashboard. What is the most appropriate action an administrator should take to resolve this? A. Uniformly increase the transmit power on all deployed access points. B. Analyze the physical RF coverage maps and re-evaluate access point placement. C. Lower the minimum data rate to increase the range of the access points. D. Disable automatic radio management to force higher power output. The answer is B. A. Coverage hole alert indicates that the network is unable to provide adequate signal strength in a particular area. The best practice for addressing this is to perform a thorough review of the RF design, including floor plans and current access point locations. Simply increasing transmit power can introduce co-channel interference and does not guarantee a solution for physical obstructions. By reviewing the coverage maps, an administrator can identify where physical gaps exist and determine if additional APs are required to ensure consistent wireless connectivity. When investigating throughput issues, which feature allows you to compare current performance data against a specific window from the past? A. The audit trail log for configuration changes. B. The timeline widget on the performance dashboard. C. The connectivity card's real-time monitoring graph. D. The device health summary report generated by AI Insights. The answer is B. The timeline widget is specifically designed for historical analysis of network performance. It allows administrators to time travel through various metrics, comparing present-day throughput, health scores, and client statistics to data captured at a previous time. This functionality is essential for correlating when a performance degradation started with potential changes or environmental shifts. Other tools like the audit trail focus on configuration changes rather than performance metrics, making the timeline widget the correct choice for comparing throughput performance over time. A retail stack requires the network to remain operational even if a physical switch member fails. Which configuration best achieves this high availability? A. Implementing a VSX stack with multiple members and multi-chassis link aggregation, MC-lag. B. Configuring each switch in the stack with a separate virtual routing and forwarding, VRF, instance. C. Connecting all switches in a daisy chain topology with a shared control plane. D. Utilizing static routing between all stack members to ensure redundant paths. The answer is A. For enterprise and retail environments needing high availability, VSX, virtual switching extension, combined with MC-lag is the industry standard design. This architecture provides dual-homed redundancy, allowing the network to maintain connectivity even if one of the core or access switches experiences a hardware failure. Unlike a daisy chain or simple static routing, this design ensures that traffic is load shared across redundant links and that the failure of a single member does not lead to total service disruption. This approach provides both resilience and high performance for critical network services. To isolate guest and IoT traffic from corporate data, you decide to use different routing tables. Which configuration element should be used in HPE Aruba Networking Central to achieve this? A. Multiple static routes on the core switch's primary interface. B. Separate virtual routing and forwarding (VRF) profiles for each traffic segment. C. A single SVI profile configured with advanced VLAN tagging. D. Creating a bridge mode SSID that pushes all traffic to a remote DMZ. The answer is B. Using virtual routing and forwarding (VRF) is the standard method for network segmentation on modern switches. By defining separate VRF profiles, you create isolated routing tables, ensuring that traffic from the guest network or IoT devices cannot interact with corporate data without explicit routing policy intervention. This provides a robust security boundary and keeps sensitive traffic separate from guest traffic. Other methods, such as complex static routing, are difficult to scale and do not provide the same level of logical separation as VRF-based segmentation.